Hello. This is Pixie. So it kind of predicted that they'd start doing face masks in the US, and that's what's happening. There's also the problem is people saying, well, no good, no good. I said they're better than nothing. That's the main thing. You can have this debate about clothes or anything that's protective. I remember when I was walking around, it was a bit sunnier in the UK, and of recent, and the people were just wearing coats. So the protective gear, they're wearing coats because they've got this survivalist instinct, but they've got no desire to look. They might look foolish in some way. But now they're starting to wear the face mask, but they're just a little bit too slow taking it in. The slow ones on the herd are the ones that lag behind and get taken out by predators. So they've got to be a bit more switched on. Complacency will kill you. And there's also talk of it was bacterial nature to this corona. I need to look up the bats stuff. Something else that come through my mind is it's interesting. There was MERS virus, I think it's MERS, SARS, and then you got this SARS-2. This is Corona one. They all come from this. They can all be carried by the bats, but weirdly enough, it seems like these things. They're 3 different strains. It feels like they've been engineered against humans. There's probably a group out here doing these weird experiments. It's a bit like AIDS. AIDS virus came from some monkey DNA. It's probably, well, it's not chimpanzee. Yeah, it's got to be monkeys. Monkeys have got 23 chromosomes, I believe. Humans have. Gorillas and chimps have got much more. It's like 28 or something like that. So it just basically it's like a different operating system. So you got some Mac trying to speak to an Amstrad or something. It's just different technology, or an Xbox trying to talk to a PlayStation. So the program's not going to really the virus, not unless it changes. Once it gets a certain basic code in there, then it starts uploading itself in there. And it's like a hacker, I guess, the virus is hacking in there. But Corona has a purpose, and isn't it interesting the thing, Corona saved lives. This is the weird thing, this weird social isolation stuff. Corona saved lives because of the pollution aspects. Pollution could be the number one factor for causing cancer. And there are all these people saying, oh yeah, pay us money, we'll do research. But I tell you what, we do research, we won't actually tell you anything. We just say we're helping to do research, that's it. It's just a never-ending circle. But one of the big factors could be pollution itself, and recreating humanity's capitalism. Capitalism needs to fall in order to build a new system, rebuild a system, as I say. It's like making things to order. You've now got technology that you can basically print out. You can, make anything using these special industrial type printers. People have even printed out like a firearm. I forgot what the name exactly of these type of laser plastic printers. So with that kind of in mind, and how quick things can be made, do we need all these factories knocking out constant goods all the time? Everything could be made to order? Should you part exchange things you don't want? It could be a better society that we kind of utilise each other's resources. And making things to order means less landfill. And maybe we need things to pick through landfill, like AI bots to pick through landfill and take out useful stuff and repurpose it. Because they're just chucking things in holes, basically. So we need to remake society, remodel it. So Corona's here to teach us something. It's not here just to sort of destroy humanity. But like I mentioned before, it seems very weird that 3 viruses come from the same genus or life form and seem to attack us. I'd understand if the other creatures had it, like pigs and things like that, but the leapfrogging across to try to get to us. So maybe it's a consciousness thing, maybe it's like an in-tune consciousness. it's trying to hack in. I did consider if it was alien, like maybe an alien life form came here and had corona, like an alien grey, touched something. I mean, it could have gone in via a military route, military campaign in an area, and not realised that it spread something into a hot zone maybe. And it's also weird that things come in like these different phases. So we have ISIS, and now we've got this corona thing. It seems weird that terrorists don't attack when people are more vulnerable. Because like America's very vulnerable now. Now they said, oh, this virus has killed more people than 9/11. Well, 9/11 also had after effects of causing cancer and all sorts of things. But then again, there are some great killers in society, and mosquitoes are one as well. Mozzies have killed millions, or even billions since they've been around for such a long time as well. Since the beginning. So basically, if you can make your own PPE, do. So what I do, my advice to carers is get your bloody own. There's no point people crying, whinging on telly about government and not enough PPE and stuff. You've got to think ahead. It's you against the system, and then you've got this corona as well. The corona doesn't care. It's pure anarchy. It's not going to particularly care whether you've got PP or not, if you're crying or not, what gender you are, what gender you think you are, or any of that. It's just going to go boom. It's going to hit in there and do what it's got one. It's survival. And so you need to learn from corona and say, well, I just need to be survival mode now. And you need to know what to fight about and what not to fight about. Someone's fighting over toilet roll. That's just ridiculous. Actually, what happens if someone's greedy and steals their toilet roll? You just follow them home and see where they put it, and then you rob them. That's what will probably happen. Someone's got a blooming warehouse full of toilet roll just for themselves for the next 1,000 years. That's what will likely happen. Or we just tell the government go in there and say hoarding is considered a crime, and also depriving, the social order or something mad, and might come up with some legal stuff. But they might have, a bit like they have rights to accommodate a vehicle, they could have rights to accommodate your gear, repurpose it, say it's in the national interest, national security or something. National security that the FBI has toilet roll. And or they might say, well, yeah, what we'll do is we'll give you some promissory note or something, like an IOU, and it will say, well, we'll give you back your toilet roll, but in 20 years' time, something like that. So it's confiscating, you confiscate goods on some act, so that it'd probably be there, and that gives more powers to the army and so on. That they can in the times of war or times of emergency, in the interest of national security, they can accommodate and confiscate items, buildings and belongings that are of the citizens of the country. So like if the army were low in bullets, they could say, right, well, we need your ammo stash. We'll leave you with some, but we're going to take about 80% of what you've got, and we'll make a note that you've given it, so that we can pay you back once this all gets sorted out. So that kind of thing may happen. And so, because it's not capitalism anymore. It's not that I buy something, I own something. It's a case of you can have it if you use it. If you don't use it, then there's somebody else who will, and that's the thing, and that might save someone's life. If you've got loads of pots and pans, cooking things or whatever. So it's the more you share in this way, or you allow people not to share, because if they've got something of their own, they won't need to take. It's a bit like you teach a person to fish and they can feed themselves for life. So if you give some people the essentials, they can get on and do that. But if someone's depriving people because they feel that they are better or more worthy, because money's starting to go out the window now. It has been for a while. It's just been about digital credits and stuff like that. So people may end up getting a set pay, but they're getting paid by the government, And then the government's going to say, well, what skill set you've got? Well, we need you in the front line, we need you here. They might call you up, they might kind of conscript you. That's what's going to be for national service, and that could be towards, I don't know, social harmony or something. It doesn't have to just fighting an enemy. Or say, well, the enemy's in the environment, but we need you to help protect the public, or you've got a nurse skill, or you're retired this, to just pull you back in. And that's probably what needs people do, just volunteer, set their own groups up before other people do it for them, because then they don't have a choice. Then they're just told, well, you've got to do this, and we tell you what hours you do, and we'll pay, and things like that. Or we'll educate your children, but you've got to work in our factories or whatever's required. We'll see. But there's scope for change, and it's trying to look for the positives in Corona. That's the main thing. Anyway, speak to you soon and take care. Bye.